Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar dedicated and devoted to the third, last and biggest open call of the DAPSI project. I'm Miguel Gonçalves. I'll be moderating this session that is being recorded and will be available on YouTube afterwards. So as you can see on the screen, DAPSI stands for Data Portability and Services Incubator. It's a project funded by the European Commission and is part of the huge Next Generation Internet initiative. So why are we organizing this webinar? It's because applications for DAPSI are open. 2.5 million euros are available for innovators working and developing solutions on data and services portability fields. So in the 9 months supporting program, DAPSI offers grants up to 150,000 euros, technical and business support, access to top infrastructure, visibility and promotion. So if you think this opportunity is interesting, please make sure that you stay with us until the very end of this webinar, because we'll be sharing everything you need to know in order to submit a successful application. So after this brief introduction, we'll have Sarah Mateo, who is the project coordinator for the DAPSI project, explaining us a little bit more about what is the DAPSI project. And then Najme from Fraunhofer will present which are the data portability challenges to be addressed in this open call. Daniela Reia from Zavala Innovation Consulting will explain and give the details on how to apply and what are the documents needed to submit your proposal. And we'll have also Augustin from IMT Starter that will give you an overview of the supporting program and what you can expect from it if you are selected through the open call. And Alfonso Preto Paulo from engineering will give also an overview of the infrastructure and tools that DAPSI offers to the selected project. At the very end of the webinar, we'll have a section dedicated to questions and answers. So all the speakers will be able to answer your questions. You are free to write your questions in the Zoom Q&A box during the entire session. And at the end of the webinar, we will answer them one by one. So without further ado, I will give this virtual floor to Sarah so we can learn a little bit more about the DAPSI project. Sarah, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Miguel. So 1 second, because I will share with you some slides. And yeah, let's start with this part of the session that is devoted to present you in general terms the main characteristics of DAPSI, what is DAPSI, why DAPSI. So I will start looking at the regulation, looking at 2018, when a new regulation on general data protection was launched and entered into force. And specifically under Article 20, the regulation has a clear objective of making easier for citizens to have any data which is stored in one service provider directly transmitted in an efficient and easy way to another data provider. In summary, it aims to give persons a better control over their personal data, something that can be possible, but a lot of technology barriers are there, so the aim of DAPSI is to solve them. And on the other side of the slide, you see the NGI initiative. This is the general, the Next Generation Internet initiative by the European Commission, with a clear also objective of making the future internet more open, inclusive, preserving privacy, fostering the cooperation, etc. So mixing these two components, these two areas of work, we funded a project under a Horizon 2020 program and specifically under the Next Generation Internet Initiative. And this is our DAPSI project. DAPSI has a clear aim to foster advanced research and in the service and data portability field, with also an objective of delivering open source results. This is important for the community. And to support all this, we fund SMEs, entrepreneurs, innovators, startups with some grants up to 150,000 euros can be achieved by applicant. And also we complete this support with a service, a package of services in technical and non-technical areas to support the selected entities and applicants to develop their projects, and also make them closer to the market or the community. So we started this project in 2019. It's a 3-year project, and during this period we have the purpose of launching 3 open calls. Now we are in the 3rd and last and biggest, as Miguel said, open call. And I say biggest because we have the biggest budget for this 3rd open call. From the 5.6 million euros that we have to distribute among third parties, 2.5 will be distributed in this 3rd call. And to do all this work, we have 6 partners from 5 countries. And let me introduce a bit who we are. We are in this project because, well, it's important. If you are engaged, if you are selected, you will work with all of us. So on the left side, we have Zabala. I work at Zabala. My colleague Daniel, that is already here with me, is also working in Zabala. And we are in charge of the project coordination, and as well, we manage the open calls process. We are based in Spain, and close to us we have our friends, colleagues from IMT Starter and CAP Digital. They are focused on those services for business-related aspects. On the right side of the screen, we see our Italian partner engineering that is in charge of the infrastructure provision. If we go to the upper side of the screen, we see our German partner Fraunhofer that is in charge of the scientific part of the project, in charge of the follow-up and evaluation of the technical aspects. And finally, on the left corner, we have F6S, our partner in charge of dissemination, communication of the project, and also in charge of the platform for the proposal submission. So we all together make this project possible. And well, looking at the conditions and the applicants that we expect who can participate in this program. Well, we are open to any profile, internet technologists, researchers, innovators, developers, etc. So any profile, always that you have the knowledge and skills needed to carry out an R&D project in the data portability field. Okay. How you can participate? You can apply as a natural person. You can apply as a legal entity, linked to a legal entity, or the combination of both is also possible. Natural persons collaborating with legal entities, and individual or collaborative projects are allowed. So you can see that everything is possible here. Depending on this configuration of the consortium, you can ask for more or less grant. So you can see that if you are an individual, a natural person working alone, there's a limited amount of 37,500 euros. If you are a group of individuals, you can get up to 75,000 euros. And for any other kind of applicant, legal entities or consortia, you can get up to 150,000 euros. And if you are selected, what happened? Well, after the open call process and evaluation, you will be invited to sign a grant agreement with us, and you will be engaged in a 9-month program that we divide into phases. The first phase has a duration of 5 months, and after this time, where you can get up to 100,000 euros, you have an evaluation where your progress is assessed, and according to this progress, you are paid, and also you get the access to phase 2. Phase 2 has a duration of 4 months, and in this phase, at the end, you will be evaluated with the possibility, if everything goes well from your side, to get up to 50,000 euros. The idea of this program is starting in February next year, in 2022, and also to finish the full program in October 2022. Well, this is more or less the general insights about DAPSI. Now I would like to finish this part with, of course, encouraging you to apply. We have already a lot of innovators, 26 winners from previous calls, first and second call. You can check their projects, their teams, and their achievements in our website, in the Hall of Fame, and also to get some ideas about funded projects in the past that perhaps are an inspiration for you. So I deserve you good luck, and hopefully you can be here in our Hall of Fame next time. So thank you, and I give the floor now to the next speaker.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Yes, let's move to Najma, who will explain what are the challenges to be addressed in this open call.
Hello, good evening. So I will share my screen. Okay, so yeah, welcome from my side. I'm from Fraunhofer IIS in Germany. So we are kind of the technical support in DAPSI. And here I will briefly tell you about the service and data portability challenges. So we have in this open call, which seems to be the biggest one, 5 main sub-challenges and 1 other subdomain. So the first one is data transparency, which aims for a more transparent personal data storage and more fine-grained data transfer when we are exercising our personal data access right based on GDPR. The second subdomain is data interoperability and compatibility, which aims to facilitate switches between different service providers. And the third one is security and privacy. So here, when transferring the data from one environment to the second environment, the methods implemented here, they have to ensure that the personal data are transferred in a secure way. The first one is service portability, which aims to empower users like end users to share their data with any service provider and host that they trust. And the new subdomain that we identified for this open call is data sovereignty, which aims to empower users to transfer a complete data set or part of it to any new provider without giving reason. We also have one general subdomain, which we call other, for any kind of project or idea that may not fit into these 5 main subdomain they can apply for also this subdomain. So it can be about data correction, data ownership, user education, and anything that is related to data portability and service portability. So the first one is data transparency. Here, for example, for now, when we are exercising our data access right, the service providers, they don't follow any specific data structure. So they can, for example, give us a JSON file, they can give us text file. So it's totally up to them. And this makes the data transparency very difficult. And here the solution is that so the project, they propose and they use open standards for storage and delivery of the data. And here, when we say about, when we talk about open standard, we mean vocabularies, and for example, W3C standard, metadata description, and etc. So whatever that makes data transparent. And there are some challenges during this data, for this subdomain during the data transfer. The first one is that assuring the control of traceability for the data subject, and also visualization tools to improve user understanding, and enabling user to change the setting at any time. The second subdomain is data interoperability and compatibility. So here, what we mean by interoperability is that, okay, so let's say we want to transfer our data from the environment 1 to the environment 2, but the problem has that they have different data models and architecture, and so the data transfer may become difficult. And here again, the solution is that we use the common standards for interoperability and shared vocabularies. For example, very important is FAIR principle. And the challenges here for this specific subdomain is designing a cross-domain data architecture using established and open data models and standards, because if it's a closed data model, then it cannot be used for interoperability. And tools for data conversion from one format to another, for example, from JSON to RDF, from CSV to RDF, and yeah, different formats. The third subdomain is security and privacy. As I said, well, it's very important to know that here we are not talking about the general security, but we are talking about the security during the data transfer. So secure data encryption and transmission during the transfer is important in this subdomain. Full anonymization should be done, and during this transfer, the correctness and integrity of data should be ensured. The first subdomain is service portability. Here, for service portability, we want to give user regain control and, for example, this very, let's say, key priority services that many people are using these days: Google, Microsoft, Zoom, Facebook. So the goal in this subdomain is that the participant and the projects in this DAPSI program, they create a first version of some of these similar services, but we know that it's impossible to do that in 9 months. So here the goal is that they create a kind of a first version, and then because we are kind of focusing on open, we are looking for open source, let's say, implementation. Then in the future, the community can work on this implementation and can deliver a, let's say, more established and more reliable version. But yeah, so here the goal is the service portability is that we kind of be less dependent on very these key services that every one of us are using. It's a very kind of, let's say, yeah, very hard goal to achieve, but it's not impossible. The new subdomain that was identified specifically for this open call is data sovereignty. So here, again, it's important to know that in DAPSI, by data sovereignty, we don't mean only the blockchain ideas. So the proposals that only rely on blockchain, let's say, ideas and methods, will not be considered because data sovereignty is a broader concept. And here in DAPSI, we mean the methods that kind of enable formulating self-defined data and usage rules and influencing and tracing the data information flows while being free in the decision of sharing data and migrating data whenever and wherever it is desirable. So here the implementation should allow the individual the freedom to choose which part of data they want to share and transfer. So instead of being forced to all or nothing approach, and kind of, for example, we also welcome those proposals that develop business use cases that reinforce and demonstrate the value of managing data disclosure. Yeah, and as I said, we also have the other subdomain topics. So if you have some ideas about service and data portability that you think they don't fit into these 5 main subdomain that I just talked about, you can apply. For example, some other topics would be ethical and legal issue, user education, especially about GDPR, data correction, data ownership, marketing of data portability solution, and it could be a very long list. Yeah, thank you. And that was from my side.
Thank you very much, Najma, for all these insights and the definition of the challenges to be addressed. Now we move to another very important set of information, which is how to apply. If you are thinking about a suitable solutions for one of the challenges listed, now you should know how you should propose and submit your application. And that's why we have Daniel here with us to explain all about it. Daniel, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miguel. Hey everyone, welcome to this webinar. And now I'm going to share with you some slides to explain you a little bit about the process to apply to DAPSI. So first of all, I'm going to share my screen. How to apply to DAPSI? Well, first of all, if you're applying to apply to DAPSI, the main first basic step is to read the guidelines. The guidelines, it's a document available in our website that sets all the main important things about the open call, such as the funding that we are going to give, the evaluation process, also some main criteria that we are going to follow in the evaluation, the timeline of the call, and other important things that are quite relevant if you are planning to apply to this call. And also we have the frequently asked question that is composed by some of the main important questions that have arisen during the first 2 calls, and that are also very important to see if you have had the same problems as other applicants in the past, and also they are very relevant if you are planning to apply for the first time to DAPSI. So second step, if you are planning to present a proposal to this third open call, first I recommend you to read carefully all the relevant subdomains that Najma already has explained. That are the 6 that are shown in this slide. That are data compatibility and interoperability, data sovereignty, data transparency, service portability, security and privacy, and all the topics that you may find relevant to the DAPSI program. Once you have selected your subdomain, we are now in the step of preparing your proposal. So for preparing your proposal, there are 3 main sites that you have to visit. The first one is the official channel to submit the proposal. And here a remark that I will also say later, that this is the official channel. We do not accept a proposal through email or through other channel that it may occur here. So please stay by the rules and apply through the official channel, that is the F6S channel. The first thing that you will have is an application form with different sections. There are some administrative sections about the proposal identification, what's the domain you have chosen, some other administrative data of well, the applicants, if you are applying as a single entity, as a consortium, and so on. And some other final questions as other administrative checks that we'll have to go through. Also, the second document is the proposal template. This is mandatory. This is the official template for the open call. You have to submit your proposal with this document and with this format. This document is divided in several sections, and each section has a description that is a supporting text for you to complete those sections. Please read carefully the supporting text, as it is not put there randomly. It is on purpose, and it is something that it will be evaluated later on. Also here, I remark that the page limit for a full proposal is 7 pages. Please stick to that limit, as proposals with more pages will be evaluated, but only the 7 first pages. So please stick to that page limit. And the third document is additional applicants information template. This document only applies if you are applying as a consortium or if you have more applicants in your proposal for our open call. So now we are going through the eligibility section. Eligible means that you can be legally selected to be a part of the DAPSI program. That means that if you are not eligible, you are automatically discarded for this open call. So we are going to go through some of the main eligibility criteria that you have to follow in order to be eligible for the proposal. So eligibility criteria: operational capacity and double funding. This means that as some of the applicants already, well, some of you already put on the chat box, if you are planning to submit other proposals to other calls, other programs, you have to be sure that you have the sufficient operational capacity to deliver the results proposed in your application. And the double funding, what you have to be sure here is that you are not funding doubly the same results. So for that, you will be signing a declaration of honor that will ensure this. Also, a research component. We are looking for projects in the research area. So if you're not planning to have a research part in your project, it will be automatically discarded. Also, open source. We are looking for open source project. So if our evaluators will assess that your project is not open source, it will be discarded also. And also, we are not looking for paperwork projects. We want tangible results, and we want progress during the 9-month program, that it will be tangible and meaningful for the community. In addition, type of beneficiary, Sarah already explained the type of beneficiary that can apply to the program. So please stick to that. We are not going to fund companies that are not SMEs, but the other cases mainly are welcome in our program. Also, the country of establishment and residence, the eligible countries are set in the guidelines of the DAPSI program. So please check that to see if you are eligible for the program. And language, the official language for the proposal will be English. Other languages will not be admitted in the evaluation process. No multiple submissions are allowed. The official submission system and templates are the ones that I have explained before: F6 sales channel and the official template available in the DAPSI website. Conflict of interest will be evaluated. You cannot be an affiliated entity of partners in the consortium, and also the evaluators will check if any conflict of interest is happening with them. So it will be properly assessed, and no proposals will be admitted once the deadline is on. So proposals later than the 23rd of November won't be evaluated. And now we are going to the evaluation process. The evaluation will consist on 3 main steps. That would be the eligibility filter. And we will be assessing all these aspects that I have just mentioned. And we will check if you are eligible for the program. Once checked that, the remote evaluation process will happen. It will be based in 3 main criteria that will be excellence and innovation, expertise and excellence of the proposed team, and project planning, with the weighting indicated there of 60% for excellence and innovation, 20% for expertise and excellence of the proposed team, and at last 20% for project planning. Each award criterion will be evaluated in a scale from 0 to 5, and a minimum threshold will be 3 out of 5 points for each criteria. The default overall threshold will be 12 to be eligible for the program, and the external experts can request further information if needed, if something is not clear enough in the proposals. Once each proposal has been evaluated, we will have a consensus meeting that in which we will come up with the final winners of this evaluation process. Once this has happened, we will rank this list. It will be approved by the European Commission, and we will communicate the results. All this in the following timeline. That as you know, the 23rd of November will be the call deadline. We will communicate the results by January. After the communication, you will sign a sub-grant agreement with the DAPSI consortium, and the DAPSI will kick off the DAPSI program. Will kick off on February 2022. So finally, just one remark that if you are planning to apply, please take into account that the deadline is 23rd November at 5 Central time. So just encourage you to apply if you have an idea, an innovative idea that can be fit in one of our subdomains and can contribute to our community. So please apply, and if you have any doubt about the application process or other things, please contact us through our official channels that are here in this slide. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope to see very good proposals.
Thank you, Daniel. Excellent explanation and details about the process to apply. Thank you very much for this. So now let's think, if you are selected, what will happen to you? And for that, we have Augustin with us from IMT Starter. We'll give you a brief overview of what you can expect for the program.
Yeah, hi everybody. Quite brief, because I think you had enough information, so I will not go deeply in the whole program. What I will do is that I will share also my screen. I hope that it works. Everybody can see the screen?
Yeah, good.
Good. Right, so I'm Agustin Radva. I'm working for IMT Starter, which is one of the, let's say, partner of this DAPSI project. IMT Starter, it's without modesty, one of the well-known business incubators in the Paris region. We exist since 20 years. More than 250 startups in our incubator, 80% of them, they are still alive. And quite proud and to be part of this super program. So you understood that this is the third open call of it. We already had some great projects in the first 2 ones, and I would say that our mission, which is a global mission, it's to work on the business part with tech projects, because our incubators is focused on definitely on the tech projects. So we used to work on I would say different levels of the projects that we have, ideas, projects, and very young companies. So to go quickly on the DAPSI program, we had, I think we explained you already, we had 2 phases. Once we launched it, for the 2 different phases, we had, at least on the business part, we had 2 kinds of approach. The first one, it's a group training in the, once again, on the business part. Well, to be very honest, I know that some of you, you are doing super cool tech stuff, but, and you never ever thought to sell something to somebody. So I would say that these training parts that we are doing, what we try to do is to understand the value that you bring in the markets or to your customers or users. So even if you are selected for a project and you would say, okay, we didn't create any company, or our project is just to move forward on the open source part, I totally agree. I perfectly understand. In the same times, what we want to do is to help you to move forward, and also to understand what your future users would like to have, not just your own idea or let's say of your small or bigger community. So what we'll try to do is to, let's say, to extract the whole thing from what you are doing or what you would like to do in the future. Well, I would say when you have very young companies, or even projects that are already in a company, I think these kind of trainings, that will be quite easier, because they are already launched and they have also a business target. And in the same time, what we propose, it's also individual trainings with mentors. It's exactly what we are doing here in the incubators with all the projects in the programs that we have. So this will be for the first part. You will have also some technical workshops and other support services. I will let my colleagues detail you all this. Middle program, you have a validation and a pitch. So you have also to be prepared to make a very short pitch in front of experts and advisory boards. And if everything went well and you perform also well, because as you can see, you will be evaluated all over the 2 phases of the program. You will go in the second phase of it, and you will have the chance to re-meet your mentor. Once again, as I told you, most of the mentors that we have are entrepreneurs, tech entrepreneurs, and more than that, very successful ones. So what I will try to say, it's also that you will, during what we want to, is that you also develop your own network and the whole things further. So just as I told you, phase 1, so you will have 4 online sessions. Each session will be for 2 hours. I will go a little bit, I will give you just a very big picture of what will happen during those sessions. And as I said, in the first phase, you will have 3 sessions of 2 hours. This is individual. Well, I was saying, when I was individual, it means for your team with a mentor. And if you perform well in the second phase, you will have another session of 2 hours with your mentor. But once again, well, we have to put 2 hours because, well, our mentors are very happy to work with, but in the same time, you can be sure that you can contact them to ask some questions or move forward. So very, very quickly on the trainings that you have in group. So as you can see, most of the time, as I told you, we try to extract why you are doing all this. So which means that try to detect what is the value proposition of the product or what you want to develop. Focus on the customers versus users, the value proposition, and very important, the experimentation that you might do with all the things that you develop. It's the single question, it's the why. And the last session, there will be a training session to prepare the pitch that you will have to do. It's a 10-minute pitch. You have to go from the business part, but also on the tech part. So I think it's quite important to have some tips also how to prepare this kind of pitch. And well, that was it on my side. Good luck for all the projects that you prepare us. Well, there's enough room for good projects. So up to you to come with very good proposals.
Thank you very much, Augustin, for
Thank
this
you.
overview. And now I was informed that our next speaker will not be able to join, so I will try to give his presentation. So just to give you an overview on the infrastructure and tools that will be available to you if you are selected to participate in the program. So all OpenCall winners will be offered access to Fireware Lab in order to boost the development and innovation of your solution. So Fireware Lab is an open source cloud environment based on OpenStack, where you'll be able to create virtual machines and use a rich catalog of software as a service for free. So during the whole incubation program, a support ticketing tool based on Redmine will be available to support all users for either technical or generic issues. And also a different training session on the users of the tools and technologies will be provided by engineering, and all documentation will be stored within a knowledge base that is also available to all participants. So this is just a brief overview of the infrastructure and tools that will be available, but the OpenCall winners, when starting their program, will have all the details about how this infrastructure and tool work. So we are moving to the last phase of this webinar, which are the Q&A session. But our dear speakers were super efficient and effective during this webinar, and they already answered all questions on the Q&A box. So if you are viewing this on YouTube, you will find the answers and questions on the comments on the video. But we have still some time to accept more questions now. So please, if you have more questions, just write them on the Q&A box. I can see that a lot of the question answered asked were relative to eligibility criteria. So a lot of them can be answered if you take a closer look at the guidelines for applicants. As Daniel said, it's the most important guiding document that you will have for this open call. So please make sure you read it carefully and reach out to us if you need more information and something is not clear there. So I see there's no other question or new question posted. If not, I will just ask to our speakers if any one of you would like to add something. Oh, we have a question. So if our project doesn't easily fit in a single research area, is there support to identify the right area? Sarah or Danielle, do you want, or Najma, do you want to answer this?
Okay, I can start, and then my colleagues perhaps want to add something. Well, you saw during the presentation today that we have pre-identified some relevant challenges or subdomains, but there is another one that is this like open other, where any project relevant for the service and data portability is welcome. So it doesn't matter if you answer to any of the predefined challenges or not. We are not redirecting the project to one challenge or to another. It will be evaluated, and if this is relevant for our area of work, it is evaluated and it can be selected. So it's not a real problem where you focused, if you focus in one challenge or in another, and this is not well done.
Thank you, Sarah. Another question, can you confirm that UK applicants are eligible? Daniel, you want to go for this one?
I think Daniel is muted. Well, they are eligible. I can confirm it.
Yes. Okay, I don't see other questions. Any comment from the speakers? No, if not, well, just to wish the best luck to all the applicants. If you are stay here with us until the very end. Oh, one more question. Is there any requirement template for project planning? Daniel, you want to answer this one?
Yeah, sorry about before. My computer is not working properly today. So no, there's no planning template. You can deliver in the proposal template a schema about what is your planning for the project, but there's no official template for that.
Yeah, so there's a section on the proposal template.
Yeah, there's a section, but there's no official figure or schema for the planning.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, so as a wrap up, and as I was saying, if you stay with us until the very end of this webinar, this is because you are definitely interested in applying for DAPSI. We wish you the best of luck. Take a very good look at the guidelines for applicants. We will have another webinar to discuss the open call on the upcoming month, and don't forget to apply before the deadline. So best luck to all of you, and thank you for joining us for this webinar.